happy to do it. John Mustard, 6'1", played in Waterloo, going to Providence. Leads with speed. He had almost 30 goals in the USHL, which we think's a hard league to score in, and he was able to do it. We love that he's going to Providence to play for Nate Lehman. Nate's had a lot of success in the college level with national championships and winning medals in the World Juniors. So we really like the way he coaches, teaches his guys attention to detail. AJ Spellacy, I'm sure you guys have talked to him, but he's a freak of an athlete. He had 5 football scholarship offers after his sophomore year of high school. He was a defensive team captain, leader. Skates, awesome skater, competitive in Windsor. Not a great team. He was on the penalty kill there, first guy over the boards. Got a lot of his opportunity for offense through speed. Competitive kid, plays with some bite. Again, probably a little bit of a long road with him. He chose, 2 years ago, he chose to go the hockey route. We're from a football family, and so he's a little bit behind the curve in, I guess, hockey experience. But he's going to be a good player. And then Jack Pridham, again, another guy on a little bit of a long road. He played at St. Andrews College last year, where the Dean Letourneau played, where the Bruins took in the first round. And so we've got some history with him through Jimmy McKellar. And I think he had close to 40 goals last year in his season. Went out to West Kelowna this year in the BCHL. I think he had 20-plus goals. But he can skate, kill penalties. We really like that he's going to Boston University because of their strength program. Their coaches, we obviously have Ryan Green there, Vlasic was there, Comesso was there, so good pieces. After that, we took, he was Joel Svensson. Joel Svensson has been through a draft, and that was our Swedish guys, Matt Selin and Nick Blomgren. He fits our traits. If you watch him, I haven't seen him live. Those guys have. Colin Fraser saw him live, but his skating. He had 24 goals this year. 6'2", another right shot. Really good character assessments coming back from his current coaches. He signed to play in the SHL next year. Whether he plays up there or the Allsvenskan, they'll determine that. And then Ty Henry, left shot defenseman in Erie. Again, another guy that you guys 3 years are probably sick of me saying it. He can skate. He's more athlete right now maybe than hockey player, but we've got time to develop him in that range. He'll go back to Erie for probably the next year or two, and then we'll determine what he is.
No goalie this year?
No goalie this year. We considered it in the third round, but we just felt with Comesso, Guyan, and then there's a good goalie group next year, and we just thought that to get some speed up front, some bigger forwards, that outweighed the goalie position.
Are you feeling comfortable taking guys on maybe a longer trajectory because you already have so many forwards in the system already?
Yeah, I mean but they're all different, right? Now, like I said last night, we're not naive enough to think that everyone's going to play, so we're looking for certain things that we like. Skating, we won't look the other way on, as you guys know. So we just, and they're all not going to play at once. They'll determine who plays and who doesn't play. And Spellacy, you have to sign in 2 years because he played in Windsor. Van Acker, you got to sign 2 years because of the CHL guys. And so I think we got a happy blend of, even with Mustard and Pridham, we can take a little bit of a longer path with them. And Pridham's going to go back to West Kelowna for 1 year and then go to BU. So.
Is there something about the USHL as a development league and how it's grown that you guys value?
We value traits, right? And wherever those guys play, they play. Like it just happened this year that we got 3 guys out of the USHL. I know the last couple of years with Nazar and Moore out of the U.S. program, I really don't consider that the USHL just because the league will probably yell at me, but they play a college schedule, international schedule, so they're a little bit of a mixture of both. But it's a really good league. And I mentioned last night, Kyle Connors, Brock Bescher's, those goals have been able to translate to the NHL. Speed's been able to translate to the NHL, and it's a really good league.
So do you think, in the future, do you think this moves the needle, or is this another way that you want to see maybe after Bedard and Oliver Morgan get started?
Say that again, sorry.
I said, do you see this as a long-term wave in the rebuild or something that can help spur the rebuild?
They'll determine that. You know, some are further along in the process than others. But I'll just, again, I stick to the stuff that we like, and Kyle and Noam, they can figure out who's ready and who's not.
You talked about AJ's, about his athleticism. He talked about his physicality being something he even likes more than his speed. Is he kind of a unicorn in that sense, where you got this speedy, fast kid who's really physical and also said patterned his game after Tom Wilson?
Yeah, if he fights like Tom, then that's a bonus, I guess. He has fought, he's comfortable doing it. He's a very physical kid, and I think that comes from the football background. He played on both sides of the ball in football, so he's used to contact, and he's competitive in that sense. But he'll get right in there around the crease in the board battles, and that's one of the things we like about him.
Does he go that front as well too?
Yeah, he's not a shy player. When you do watch him, the first thing that will stick out will be his speed. But when you break down his game, he's not shy at all. He's a big body that's comfortable in hard areas.
Were you surprised that guys like Mustard and Spelling opportunity where you're able to take them?
Yeah, I guess everybody cliche says, we never thought the guy would be there, but Mustard had a higher rating, so we were we weren't anticipating him being there at 33, and then not 33. What was it, 66? Wherever we got him, 67, and then obviously Pridham we traded back in to get him because we just thought that the speed and the size would be gone. So a little bit shocked, but we stuck to where we thought guys would be in fall.
Pridham said he's training with the Leaf staff. Is that fine?
Oh yeah, no problem. I don't think there'll be any tampering or any of that stuff. His dad works in the Leafs front office. When he played in West Kelowna last year, he lived with Garth Malarchuk, who works on the Leafs staff. He was a runner for the Leafs. He's always just known the Leafs, but no concern. The Leafs train good players, so that's fine with us.
What role did the analytics staff have in the draft this year? I heard that they were taken into account pretty significant.
Yeah, they've done a good job with pick probability. So when we're down at the table, guys that would be there in certain ranges, some guys that may slip, they do a really good job of giving myself and Kyle information that maybe sometimes the scout's eye overlooks as far as strength of leagues and how that translates from league to league around the world. And they have some good opinions.
How do you sum up the last 3 drafts when you figure out where you started in the rebuild to where you guys are at now?
Happy, excited. I think we've added to a prospect pool that's vastly improved in the last 2 drafts. I think we added a lot of depth to the depth that we already had, and I think getting Artie last night is not necessarily. We didn't, other than Sam Renzel in our prospect pool, we didn't have a lot of right shot depth. But we've continued to add skating, size, competitiveness, different pieces.
Was size more of a premium this year?
Size is a premium with the people on this side of the microphone. Kyle says it, and I'm a believer in it. You can get size in free agency and trades, and we're not gonna. We have traits that we look for, and we're not gonna go against those traits to reach for a guy just because he's a few inches taller than another guy. And as I said, try telling all of them more that 5'11 and a half, 195 is small. That's not going to be a good conversation. They don't think that way. It's more outside noise.